The last day of the Trails West Festival draws visitors and bands from all around. A look at some of those who performed. Plus, lawmakers weighing in on the NSA surveillance controversy, what they're saying about possible illegal practices to listen in on American residents.
Plus, it's been a gorgeous day outside. Clear skies in store for us overnight, but we do have some warmer temperatures in the forecast. I'll have that coming up.
Live from St. Joseph and Buchanan County to Andrew, DeKalb, and Donovan counties, this is News Press Now at 9 on Fox 26 KNPN.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us for News Press Now on Fox 26 KNPN. I'm Alex Flippin.
And I'm Nadia Thacker. It has been absolutely gorgeous today, yesterday, and pretty much the entire
I tell you what, it feels amazing out there right now. I just stepped outside, and it's very fall-like, I'm telling you.
Enjoy it now, because that's all about to end.
You know, weather people always have bad news. I know sometimes they have good news, but it's hot again.
It's technically still summer. It hasn't felt like it. Today it felt like fall. In fact, the entire week it felt like fall. I was updating the forecast saying, oh, it was 79 this day last week. Wow, not going to be the case this week.
Not the case.
We're looking at 90s, so our overnight temperatures are going to be the coolest ones that you're going to be seeing for some time. 9 o'clock right now in the 70s. By midnight, I expect us to be in the 60s, and then as we head towards your 6 a.m. overnight low, around 62 degrees. Clear skies continuing into your overnight time frame. And there we go. Tuesday, 90, Wednesday, 90. So that's when our temperatures are going to start to heat up. The good news is that tomorrow we should still be in the mid to upper 80s. So we have at least one day where we're not going to be absolutely miserable.
Well, there you go. 90's not that bad. It could be a lot worse.
No, it could be worse. And I do have a look at your back to school forecast here in just a bit.
All right, great. Thanks, Nadia.
Thanks, Alex.
Well, it is the last day of the Trails West Festival, and if you got to go, you know they have some great food, some cool art, and of course, some pretty awesome bands. Here is a look at this year's festival from Brittany Fossey.
The 8th annual Trails West Festival is wrapping up today just after the main stage show. So if you didn't get a chance to make it over to the Civic Center Park during the 3-day event, here's what you missed. There were over a dozen different bands playing the 3 different stages set up throughout the park. Each one brought their own unique sound and style to the festival. The bands were a mix of well-known artists and groups from the local music scene, like the Mummies and Whiskey for the Lady, which were both crowd pleasers. Whiskey for the Lady even competed in and got second place at St. Joe's Got Talent not too long ago. But if you weren't there to take in some of the great music or just needed a little break, you could stop in at one of the many vendors and try all different kinds of tasty food. If the food and the music didn't strike your fancy, or you were just out to have a good time with the family during one of the gorgeous days at the park, you could have stopped by one of the many craft booths or checked out Drain Art. Drain Art is new to Trails West and is sponsored by the Allied Art Council. So how does a drain that looks like this end up looking something like this? This temporary live art installation experience, as their website calls it, gives volunteers the chance to make and create art in a public space. Participants were able to get a little artsy in 3 different locations, all near Civic Center Park during the festival. Artists who participated not only got to use the streets and local sidewalks as their canvas, but also helped promote a new citywide initiative for water safety and environmental conservatism. Each of the animals painted on the drains are native to Missouri and affected by water quality.
But if you haven't made it down to Trails West yet, you might want to hurry, because these art installations are going to be washed away on Monday. This is Brittany Fossey for KNPN, Fox 26 News.
I don't know if you got it, but that one guy was playing a Spam can and a stick. There was a lot of great music there. It looked like a lot of fun, and it was a great day for it today, that's for sure. Also, pretty good day to play some golf, especially if you're doing it for a good cause. Several golfers tee off today to benefit the Northwest Missouri Children's Advocacy Center. Fairview Golf Course was the backdrop for 16 teams sponsored by several area businesses. They played in a friendly competition for stakes and other prizes. A golfer lucky enough to sink a hole-in-one wins $10,000. The bonus there is the Children's Advocacy Center would also receive $10,000. This tournament is the Advocacy Center's biggest fundraiser of the year.
Well, this is our 7th year of holding this golf tournament. Every year it gets bigger and better and more fun, I believe. Last year we made a lot of good money, and hopefully we'll pass that this year. But It's for fun, it's for the kids, it's for the center. We're a not-for-profit, so we have to do fundraisers and donations to keep going.
The Northwest Missouri Children's Advocacy Center sees nearly 700 children a year that have been abused. Well, a little warmer out there today than yesterday, especially if you're wearing a fur coat. Dozens of canines gathered for the 4th annual Soggy Doggy Day held at the Lions Pool in Atchison, Kansas. The free event raises funds through donations and a silent auction to benefit the City of Atchison Animal Shelter. The idea came after a visit to a Paws in the Park program in Manhattan, Kansas, where dogs are allowed to frolic in the water before the pool closes at the end of summer. Competitions were held in the categories of Best Jumper, Talent, Fastest Swimmer, and So Ugly, I'm Cute. A final contest crowned the king and queen based on judges' evaluations of behavior and social skills. Well, as you may know, it's back to school time for a lot of folks in the area, but not everyone. Nadia Thacker is in the Weather Center to tell us who's starting when. Nadia?
Or St. Joseph, you are heading back to school tomorrow, unfortunately, or if you've been looking forward to it, it's finally here. So have fun and be safe. Temperatures as you're heading towards the bus stop around 64 degrees, and those winds are going to be out of the south about 4 to 7 miles an hour. Clear skies essentially all day tomorrow. We are going to be making it up into those mid 40s, mid to upper 80s, in fact, and but not everyone around is heading back to school tomorrow. In fact, if you live in Mid-Buck or Riverside, that's Elwood and Wafina, you have one more day to enjoy your summer. You'll head back on Tuesday, and then for those of you going to Donovan West, K through 9 heads back Wednesday, and then 10 through 12, I don't know why, but they head back on Thursday, so I am sorry for those of you at K through 9. And the temperatures for Tuesday and Wednesday into the 90s, same for Thursday. Now, our winners for the back-to-school time, Troy doesn't go back till September 3rd, so you win the longest. And if you are kind of disappointed that you don't have another 2 or plus weeks to go back to school, you might feel bad for you guys in Maryville. They started last Thursday. So they went our earliest back to school for the area. So have fun, be safe, and we'll be checking in with your back to school forecasts from now on. Alex, back to you.
All right, thanks, Nadia. A small plane crash in Kansas City, Missouri kills 2 people. The single-engine plane crashing around 3 p.m. shortly after taking off from Charles B. Wheeler Downtown Airport. Officials say the 2 people killed were the only people on the plane. No other injuries were reported. The cause of the crash is under investigation by the National Transportation Safety Board. New reaction to the growing NSA surveillance scandal. Some lawmakers are now questioning whether there is enough oversight and privacy protections following an audit that revealed the NSA violated privacy rules thousands of times. All this despite the fact that President Obama has assured Americans that the agency is being properly monitored. Fox News correspondent Elizabeth Pran has more.
The National Security Agency defending its tactics this week as Americans learned it had violated privacy rules on thousands of occasions. The infractions ranging from typing area code errors to intrusive access and storage to legally protected communications. While some were unintended, others did show breaches of standard procedures. This week, lawmakers discussed whether a failed amendment would have fundamentally changed the way the agency could collect personal information. The bill's author, Representative Justin Amash, says it may be something on the table for next session.
Now we need to hold another classified hearing just for the committee so that we can drill down into these issues about how these programs are being operated, what information is being gathered, under what circumstances have they prevented terrorist attacks, and how much does all this cost?
Lawmakers remain on both sides of the spectrum. While some say the problem lies not in the program, but the president's incompetence in explaining the complex role of collecting metadata, others say it needs more oversight, whether it be court or congressional.
It was not a problem. The fact is it worked. If you have 99.99% compliance and you have self-reporting errors, these came from an internal report, which then becomes part of an overall IG report. So I'm on the Intelligence Committee. I am satisfied.
The White House also reacting, saying in part while the majority of the incidents were unintentional, the agency is monitoring and addressing compliance incidents. In Washington, Elizabeth Pran, Fox News.
A group of people armed with rifles walked from City Hall to Dallas's West End on Saturday. These folks are with a group called Open Carry Texas. They say they're trying to highlight the right to openly carry long rifles.
We're just out here exercising our Second Amendment right to open carry our long guns. We're pushing for less restrictive gun laws so that we can open carry our pistols and get back to a more constitutional version of the law.
The group had another gun walk today in Arlington. A civil unrest continues in Egypt. Prayers go out to the country from around the globe, including the Pope. What the Pontifex Maximus is saying about the situation in Egypt. Plus, Syrian children separated from loved ones now have more hope than ever in being reunited. The Lost Child Project in 60 seconds.